After spending the last few weeks settling back into my routine, adjusting to the European time zone again, and enjoying the last days of summer by seeing friends and exploring more of Paris, I embark on my second solo trip to London. London is a destination I've dreamt of since I first moved here, and when I found out my apprenticeship would be starting a month later than I initially expected, I thought it would be the perfect occasion to visit the city I'd heard so much about. So welcome to the start of my London diary. Hope you enjoy. Guys, welcome to the London vlog. I missed my train this morning, got on a second one, and now I'm finally here. It's like 11 a.m. We're gonna go start the day of fun. First stop was matcha from Abuelo. I don't know, I heard that this is potentially a really good matcha in London. And I got their salted vanilla cream top thing. And then the bottom is just regular matcha water. Matcha water is not hitting, but the vanilla thing is really, really good. I don't know if I ended up doing a proper intro to this vlog, but I am on a solo trip to London. I randomly decided to do this like a couple months ago when I bought my tickets. I'm staying at family friend's house, which is really lovely. Also, I don't even think I talked about these glasses. I got these glasses in Mexico. They're my new seeing glasses because I can't see from far away. And they're also a little bit tinted in the sun. Like they gradually change colors. And then they're also blue light glasses. So honestly, they do everything. And they beat every single one of my other pairs of glasses. But yeah, I'm just gonna sip a little bit of this matcha and then I'll be on my way. I'm trying to get like more into central London, so I want to go visit Tate Modern and then do a little bit of the shops across the London Bridge. So yeah, that's my plan for the day. So I'm on a street with randomly like the coolest cars. Not that, but that one and that one. So cute. Guys, I got a little bandana and I'm obsessed with it. I've been looking for a really cute bandana. Oh my god, I love the store. I'm on my way to Tate Gallery, which I'm very excited about. I think it'll be good for me to be like in a chill environment and just like looking at art and stuff. Just because this morning was so hectic, I kind of need to calm myself down. Probably the last hour at the Tate. I had a great time. I don't think I even saw like all the different galleries. I think I might have seen 2 or 3, but I really enjoyed it. It's kind of funny because I had put it obviously like in my itinerary, but I almost crossed it out because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do it, and I don't even know if it's worth it. Like I'd seen online the current exhibits and they weren't like super interesting to me, but I didn't think about just like their public collection. And so yeah, I almost skipped this, which is so sad because I love this. Like anything relating to art, I'd say like looking at art was probably the most inspiring thing to me. Like, it's the best medium to like touch my soul. So I'm kind of like disappointed in myself that I didn't really consider it that much. It was also just great in general because it was like some like great solo time for myself. I was just thinking about art and different things. The way they constructed the galleries I thought was really great. Every room is introduced by little synopsis of like what you can expect in the room, what they're trying to translate through these different paintings. There were a lot of things that I took away from it. I took a bunch of pictures. I want to write in my journal about it. I'm just feeling very inspired, and it's exactly the type of thing that I want to do when I come to a new city. So yeah, I'm kind of like a little bit disappointed in myself that I didn't validate that for myself in a way, that I kind of like overlooked it, even though like it's so obviously something awesome that I should be doing, especially just because of my career. Like being inspired and being aware of like art and current art and all that stuff is just the best way to grow, I feel like. So yeah, I'm being a little bit harsh on myself, but that's kind of what I thought when I was leaving. But anyways, I'm chilling at a little park right now because I am getting a little bit tired from the walk. I still have a little bit to go. I still have the whole afternoon left, honestly. The next part of the itinerary is very touristy shit. I want to cross the London Bridge. I want to see all the very London-y British sights, and then I have a little bit of shopping in central London. I actually realized while I was walking here that I divided the days through areas. So today I'm doing like mostly central London, tomorrow West London, and Saturday East London. So worked out really great. Very proud of myself. Walking to the London Bridge, and I think I'm gonna do a little tour by Borough Market because it's literally like right here. Confused why this is called London Bridge and there's like nothing of London to see. The cool views are like very far away. I don't know, I don't feel like this is the bridge that people come take pictures on. My first touristy mistake, I guess. But it's cute and the sun is out, which is fun. I think maybe that's the bridge I want to go to. Don't know what it's called though. Okay guys, I figured it out. I wanted to go to Westminster Bridge. That's the bridge I'm like picturing in my head with the Big Ben behind and everything. So we are a little bit far from it, but we should be going back there in the afternoon anyway, so I feel like it'll be fine. This bridge is cool though. It's a nice walking path. But yeah, not what I was expecting. But right now I'm on my way to central London. I have a couple of cool shops that I want to hit, like Peachy Den, and then a bunch of like vintage stores. So hopefully some good finds on the way. It's I think around 4 p.m. I just spent a lot of money at that vintage shop. It wasn't even on my itinerary, but it was right next to the Peachy Den, and Peachy Den was a little bit underwhelming. They didn't really have a lot of stuff, so I didn't even end up trying anything. But I went ham at this like vintage consignment shop thing. I tried on at least like 20 tops. I'm so glad I found 3 pieces that I love. I think I filmed maybe 2 of them, but I'll put in some pictures of the stuff that I got. Honestly, this is like my favorite type of vintage store. Like, it's perfectly curated. Every piece is bomb. Everything's clean, color coordinated, which is great because you can just go to the colors that you know look good on you and skip the ones that don't. And they just had really cool stuff. So I'm very happy. I didn't feel like it was too overpriced. I had like 3 other vintage shops that I wanted to do on this little vintage shopping tour, but I think I maxed out on this one. I think I've tried on so much stuff and like I already spent a little bit of money, so I don't think I'm gonna do any more vintage shops. Maybe I just like, if I cross any of them, I'll like go in and look, but I don't think I'm gonna buy anything. The only other store I want to do today is Cotton because they have really good basics and there's this top I really want to try. So I think that's my next stop, and then I think I'm gonna try to go back west to get to the Big Ben and stuff. Oh shit, someone's calling me. Hello? Okay. So shit. I also picked up a little magnet for our fridge. We collect magnets, and obviously we don't have any from London. Oh look, it's so cute. It's little Paddington. I love it. I made it! I made it on the right bridge! This is so cool. I'm gonna take so many pictures here. London! This is my little fit check for day 2. We are going to Notting Hill today. Also, I'm wearing some new rings that I bought yesterday. Very cute. I'm actually walking to Hyde Park so that I'll walk beside it before going up to Notting Hill. I think it's just like a nicer little walk. And the sun is out today. Oh my god. I can put into words how lucky I feel to be here, to be spending the whole day outside. It's just like a different sense of freedom. Like I don't live here, I'm not attached to anything here, but I can still enjoy it and like, you know, take in the beauty, uniqueness of the city. But anyways, I'm getting close to Notting Hill, and like any tourist, I watched the movie. So I'm very excited to see the sights and feel the vibe like this. Priceless. currant and salted almond pastry that I had was so good. I was able to sit on the benches outside, and I ended up chatting with two girls next to me. They were Romanian. One of them lived in London for 6 years and the other one was visiting her. And they were literally the kindest people, like so chill. We just chatted, so I was able to not eat alone, which was nice. Yeah, they were just really sweet girls, and then we realized that the guy sitting next to me was also Romanian. So then we all started chatting like the whole table. And it was really random but sweet. Anyways, I'm on my way to... Wait, where am I going? I'm going to a store called St. George. I think it's like a store with a lot of good like cotton basics, like a little bit like Brandy. That's what I've heard. So I'm gonna go check it out. And then after that, I think I'm gonna take a bus to go down to where Buckingham Palace is and everything. Also, the girl was so sweet. She gave me a bunch of recommendations for today that I definitely am gonna keep in mind. I came back to Hyde Park because I just want to sit down and chill for a little bit. I've been walking a lot this morning. I don't really know what my next step is. I just want to like sit down, regroup, journal a little bit. So I'm going to try to find a nice spot with a little bit of shade, a little bit of sun, and then just like lay down for a bit. I really want to experience this park like a true Londoner. I feel like that's what these people are doing, so. Last week because I wanted to have something that I could carry around all the time to just annotate whatever was going on in my brain, because I am someone that thinks a lot. Like I'm always thinking and analyzing something in my brain, and I feel like sometimes that gets a little bit heavy. Like it gets a little bit overwhelming to have to think about so many things, and sometimes it's just like random reminders of like things I want to do, things I find interesting, things I want to look up, things I want to read, things I want to talk about with my friends. And so before I would try to like write it on my phone, but then I just like never would open those like notes up again, and so I just kind of, it was a little bit counterproductive. But now that I've got this little notebook, writing shit down also helps me remember it, and also helps me develop that thought a little bit more, because once I'm writing it down, obviously I'm thinking about a lot of other stuff, so I can just like go into more detail about why that thing is like interesting or confusing or, you know, important. So it's been a really fun exercise to have this around. It's also helping me be off my phone a lot of the time, and I just write about like the most random things. Like one day I was really like anxious about my first day of work, so I just wrote down like all my anxieties about that day, things I wanted to think about, what I wanted my outfit to be, stuff like that. Then I wrote about some like life projects post-grad. I wrote about that. I planned it. Then I wrote about stuff I found interesting when I was watching some YouTube videos about doom scrolling. Also about the concept of like always consuming stuff and creating less, which I think is such an interesting concept, especially with stuff like Pinterest, which seems like such a great platform to see a bunch of things, learn a bunch of things, and be very inspired. But like, when's the last time you actually took something from Pinterest and transformed it into real life, like created something out of it? I feel like for me it's pretty rare. Like I'll save a bunch of like outfits or like recipe ideas or like design stuff that I find really interesting, and then I will never look at it again. So yeah, just this idea of like gathering versus executing, inspiration versus action, creating versus consuming, all that stuff. I also wrote that I really want to start reading stuff on Substack because I think that's like another really great platform for interesting conversations and literary inspiration. I used to really like writing when I was in high school, like writing essays about books and stuff or about certain subjects, which is something that I don't really get to do anymore, which is a little bit sad. I still write a lot in my free time. It's one of my favorite like passions of mine. I'd say reading, writing, and drawing are like my three big my big three big like passions in life. I like write in my journal a couple of times a week, and then I also write poetry in my free time. I just love the process of writing. I feel like it's the most therapeutic thing, so I'm very happy to have incorporated another form of it. I also really just needed a little notebook where I could just journal without journaling, if that makes sense, because for me journaling is like a very like sit down at the end of the week thoughtful process, and I just didn't really want to think things through that much with this. I'm bringing it around. It's always in my bag. It's so tiny. It's perfect. I'm writing about like whatever comes to mind, stupid stuff, interesting stuff. But yeah, so I've just been writing about the Tate Modern highlights, stuff that I found really interesting at the Tate Modern. I think this is really good because a lot of the times when I go to museums and stuff, I'm obviously very inspired, very in awe of all the art, like very excited to talk about it. And then when someone asks me like, oh, what did you like about this museum or this gallery or this like art exhibit and stuff, and like my mind goes blank and I'm like, I don't remember what I loved about it, but I loved it. And it's so much more than just like the paintings. Like you can enjoy an exhibit because you love the paintings and you think they're like beautiful or like interesting or very evocative, but I also enjoy reading about the artists and like what brought them to make said paintings, because any form of art really is an expression of emotional turmoil or values or politics. I mean, it can be an expression of a lot of things, but I think it's very internally human to express emotions through creation. But a lot of this time I forget about that stuff. So this time when I was at the Tate Modern, I took pictures of the stuff that I found interesting and did like a tiny mental note. The better thing would have been to just write it in the moment, but I had a busy day, so I just like kept it on my camera roll. And so now I sat down and I just went through that and I just wrote down the stuff. Like even if I'm rewriting certain like quotes from artists that I found really interesting, it makes me remember them, which is going to be a lot more helpful and interesting when I'm having conversations with people, because I'll actually be able to tell them specifically what I liked about the Tate Modern, and it's going to be on these notes. So yeah, I think this is a really good idea to like really take in fully any art activity, especially because there's like so much stuff to see at the Tate Modern. I think I probably saw like 20%, and I already have like a page and a half of notes. But yeah, most of these are like artist quotes that I found really interesting when they talk about their art. And I think a little bit of what I was saying yesterday after I went to see the Tate Modern, I was saying like that art is like my number one source of inspiration in life. And this Danish artist wrote, "The language of the heart, which is the content of all true art, possesses in itself the swift feet of fire that can reach out to the people and inspire them to create." Which is just like a very beautiful way, a very perfect way of saying what I wanted to say. This artist is Carl Henning Peterson. He had some very beautiful like abstract pastel paintings that I really urge you to look up. And another thing that I noticed was there were paintings that seemed like very like childish, like very simple or unfinished strokes. I was just like, wow, like even quote unquote unprofessional paintings, like if that even exists, but like I'll put a picture on the screen of what I'm talking about, even those types of paintings can still be hung up in big museums. Like I took that as a really big reminder that I don't need to pressure myself to make the most beautiful, intricate, detailed, refined piece of art for it to be art. It could just be a variety of colors that I gravitated towards that day, like a funny shape or a very wonky tree that I drew or something. I've been trying to get back into drawing as well. I'm just trying to expand my hobbies in general because I've noticed that I have just been way too dependent on my phone as a form of entertainment, and I want to get away from that because I know it's not positive for me. I know it's not doing good for my brain, for my existence, I think it's making me dumb, honestly, so I'm trying to get away from it. I do feel like I am addicted to social media, or that at least I am sensitive to the concept of like an algorithm and stuff. So I have to be very disciplined about my phone use and basically almost like cut it off completely, if I'm honest. Like that's the only way that really works for me, and it's something that I can do because I have a disciplined like mindset. I've been exploiting it a lot to like go to the gym and stuff. Like that's one of the main things that I've had to really be super diligent and disciplined about. So I know that I can do it for my phone as well. It's just harder because a lot of the time social media is also perceived as like a way of connection, which to me it is. Like I have some long distance friends that I do enjoy speaking to when I can, or like sharing memes and stuff, like even if that's like our only form of communication, like I still really appreciate it. So it's been hard to disconnect for that, and also because I do see the positive aspects of social media as well as also a source of inspiration, as a tool for creation and all that stuff. So yeah, it's kind of like my inner debate of like, how can I still, you know, use social media in a way that makes sense for me while also not depending on it for entertainment or like brain rot, basically. And one of the ways that I've like helped myself get through changes of not having a phone to entertain me during the in-between moments of the day, like public transport, walking, grocery shopping, sitting at a park, etc. I've also tried to lower my podcast and like music listening, because I feel like that also clouds your brain a little bit, maybe not as much. Like it's still a better form of art or information that is like very useful, but have been enjoying going on very long walks with no music and just thinking stuff. And I realize that I think about a lot of things, which is a good discovery to have, that I'm interested by a lot of things, that I can find beauty in a lot of things. But yeah, I don't even know what I was saying anymore. Oh yeah, that like one of the things that have helped me get over the quote-unquote boredom of like the in-between moments of the day where I couldn't reach for my phone or go on social media has been tapping back into my childhood hobbies, like reading, writing, and drawing. So I bought a new like sketchbook that I want to bring around when I can. I bought some new markers so I can color on the go, and I've been just like drawing random stuff. I drew on the train ride to come to London, and yeah, this was I think the painting that I was talking about that I saw at the Tate Modern was a good reminder that any art is art. Like, it doesn't have to meet a certain standard, and I can draw a leaf that I found on the ground in very unnatural colors, and it can still be art, my art, because it is. Like, it's an expression of myself, which is the basis of any piece of art. Anyways, I'm rambling now, but I just want to share that this little notebook, or just like tapping back into childhood hobbies and stuff, can be a very fun and enriching journey. So yeah, I'm gonna chill a little bit more, and then I'm gonna head on to the next stop of my day. Guys, Buckingham Palace, hitting all the touristy spots. But wow, how cool. guys, I'm leaving. I'm so sad, but I'm gonna head to my parents. It's been my last week of freedom. So it's 4:39. I have my first train at 5, going to Brussels, and then from Brussels to Rotterdam, from Rotterdam to Utrecht. So I've got a little bit of a journey, but I want to show you guys the book I bought at the bookstore in Hackney.
Good evening, we are pleased to inform you that train 9148 B1704 is now ready for boarding. Platform number 8. Please check the coach number and ticket and everything I talked about at the park. Please also take care when step forward to the handrail.
Let's go. Guys, I just got on the train to Rotterdam. I was actually supposed to go straight from London to Rotterdam with the Eurostar, but my train got cancelled like a week before my trip, and they put me on this longer journey. So I stopped in Brussels for 40 minutes, got myself supermarket sushi dinner. This shit was like actually a little expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but it was so hungry. We had breakfast at Joan this morning with Josephine, my host. I really wanted to go to this like bakery / restaurant because it was recommended to me, and it was really cute, but unfortunately today was like not as sunny as yesterday, so I feel like we missed out a little bit on like the vibes of the place. It was still like really a very yummy pastry. I had tomato cheese Danish. Then we walked all the way to Hackney, which is also on like the east side of London, and we just walked around. There was another market there. We went to a bunch of bookshops. I got myself a new book that I showed you guys. It's been a while since I've read anything non-fiction, but I just felt like the subject was really on theme with everything that I've been talking about lately. So obviously I would be very interested by it. I hope. So yeah, I picked that one up. And then we met up with one of her friends that actually lives in the area, and she took us to this really cute park called Victoria Park, and we just like sat, had a little coffee and chatted. It was a really fun like Saturday morning. It felt very like normal in a sense, like I didn't really feel like a tourist at all. Just always like my favorite way to go on trips like this. So yeah, we walked around the park, strolled around the canals, and then we went back home so I could.
Beste reizigers, hartelijk welkom in de Eurocity naar Rotterdam Centraal.
I went back to the apartment so I could get my stuff, and then I went to the train station. I got on the train, and I slept. I was literally so exhausted. Yesterday I walked 30,000 steps, which I've never done before in my life, and it's safe to say that that is probably like my maximum amount of steps I can do in a day. I'm still pretty tired from everything, but I had such a nice time in London. I actually can't even think of a way that I could have made this trip better. Like, it was just perfect. And it was also the perfect amount of balance between solo time and then like social time, because I would spend the whole day outside alone, just like exploring and doing whatever you guys saw. And at night I would meet up with Josephine. We went out to dinner the first night to Didion, a really lovely Indian. The second night we went out to an Italian in Notting Hill with two of her other really good friends, and we just had like a night out. It was a really fun like restaurant that turned into like a music lively bar after like 9 p.m. So that was really fun, like unexpectedly so fun. And then Saturday obviously we spent the most of the day with also another one of her friends, which was like the sweetest. So I feel like I really got the best of both worlds, which is obviously not very typical for a solo trip, but I feel like this is like my personal favorite way to do a solo trip. And it's just like great to be able to connect with so many people, even the strangers that I was able to like talk to and stuff. Every social interaction was like a highlight as well. And I never ended up showing you guys, but I got these beautiful like sleepover bags from the Notting Hill market. It was beautiful. So I was able to put in all the stuff that I was able to put in all the extra stuff, and I got another one for my sister as well. So another little cute find of the trip. Anyways, I'm gonna finish my dinner and then I'll see you guys in the next one.